Hello students. So in the previous lecture we discussed about the inertia and its types, that is inertia of rest, motion and direction. And today we will discuss about momentums and Newton's first law of motion. So before going to momentum, let me share one example with you. That suppose that we have a bus and a car, and you know that both will have different masses. So if different masses are there, in that case what you had velocities will also be there if they are moving. So in that case momentum in two cases will also be different. That is, momentum of the car is somewhat differ from the momentum of the truck. So what is the momentum? So momentum is nothing but quantity of motion contained in a body. Mean, what is the velocity that will be there in a particular mass, that is known as momentum. So momentum is nothing but it is defined as the product of the mass and velocity. So if m is the mass and v is the velocity, so therefore momentum p is equal to m into v, that is equal to mv. So this is the formula for the momentum. Next, as we know that the velocity will have is a vector quantity, and definitely if velocity is a vector quantity, so momentum is also a vector quantity, because we know that if mass is a, if not if, but we know that mass is a scalar quantity, and product of a scalar by a vector quantity is always a vector quantity. So since velocity is a vector quantity, so therefore momentum will also be a vector quantity. So let me share you again that what is the vector quantity. So vector is one which have a particular defined direction will be there, and with direction magnitude will also be there. So that is known as momentum. Units. So what are the units of, as we know, units never remember the units. Unit will automatically comes from the formula, that whatever the formula is there, so go to the formula and there will be the units. So as we know that P is equal to m into B. So m is a mass and unit of mass is kilogram in SI system, and the unit of velocity V is meter per second in also in SI system. So therefore momentum is, formula of momentum is V is equal to mv. So as we multiply these two physical quantity, similarly multiplies these two units, so kilogram into meter per second, so unit will be kilogram meter per second. So these are the unit, that is kilogram meter per second. This is the unit in SI system, and in CGS system that is centimeter gram second. Unit kilogram is gram, centimeter replaced with centimeter and per second. Let me share with you that what is the SI system. SI system, international system of unit. What is the meaning of international? Because you are the student of 9th standard, so you should know international system of unit is that which is widely acceptable throughout the world. If I am saying kilogram here, so in any other country, kilogram means kilogram that is contained 1000 gram. So that is why widely acceptable. So such type of units are known as SI system of unit. Or CGS, that is the oldest system, but still we are using this system in some cases also. So that is about the unit of momentum in SI and CGS system. So let us proceed further and let us compare the momentum of two bodies. Suppose we have two bodies. Let us say that again we take the same example, that is bus and truck, or bus or car will be there. So if m1 is the mass of one object, m2 is the mass of the second object, v1 is the velocity of the first object, v2 is the velocity of the second object, and the momentum is similarly p1 and p2. So if therefore for the first body p1 is equal to m1 v1, simple formula we are using, and p2 is equal to m2 v2. So P2 is equal to M2 P2. So if I divide P1 by P2, so simple formula is P1 over P2 is equal to M1 over M2. So why I discuss this formula? Because this is the very helpful when we go for application part of the momentum, that what will happen if we are comparing the mass, velocity and momentum of two bodies. So if two bodies will have same mass, that is m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m. Say that if both will have the same masses, in that case this mass will remain same, so they get cancelled with one another. They get cancelled. If they get cancelled, it means that P1 over P2 is equal to P1 over P2. What is the meaning? That is, momentum is directly proportional to velocity if masses remain same. So more is the velocity, more is the momentum, provided masses remain same. As both are proportional to each other, therefore if we plot a graph between velocity and momentum, that is almost inclined to momentum axis, provided the m is remain constant. So this is the formula if the masses remain same for two bodies, and this is the graph of PV graph provided m is remain constant. Second case, if we take the second case, that is velocities are remain same. If velocities are remain same, these two velocities get cancelled. So v1 and v2 will get cancelled. Therefore p1 over p2 is equal to m1 over m2. So if again both are proportional to each other, so it means that if mass is more, momentum will also be more, provided the velocities remain constants. So again we plot, because I have plot a graph between momentum and mass, so that is provided v is equal to remain constant. So therefore if v is constant, again constant, both are proportional to each other, so therefore graph is again similar to as the graph of first case. Third one, if the momentum is same, in this case mass and velocities are different, but the momentum is remain same. So if momentum is remain same, these two quantities get cancelled, therefore m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. So if we solve this and we take m1 on one, m masses on one side and velocities on the other side, so we find that mass and velocity of one object are inversely proportional to each other. So what is the meaning of inversely proportional? Inverse means if one quantity increase, then inversely later physical quantity will decrease. So that is the meaning of inverse relation between the mass and velocity, provided the momentum is remain constant. So if mass will be more, velocity will be less. Why? Because they are inversely proportional to each other, provided the momentum is remain constant. So this is all about momentum. We have to now proceed further, but before going to the next topic, let me share with you that if we want to understand some formula or some physical quantity, what we have to do? We have to go for application part. That is a very important, because if we will not apply these physical quantities or these mathematical formulas somewhere else, so in that case it is not able to understand for us to that what is the meaning of that formula and that physical quantity. So I definitely believe that you will go for the application part of this momentum. So next topic is force, or Newton's first law of motion. So we already studied that inertia of rest and inertia of motion and direction. So we know that an object cannot change its position by itself. Why? Because some external force is required for that. So if some external force is required, it means that if the body is at rest, in that case that body will not change its position from rest to motion, provided the force is applied. Suppose If we put some object on the some place, it will not move until I apply some force. And similarly, if an object is moving along a horizontal path of where what type of path is there, it will stop only if some external force will be there. So let me share that if a ball is moving on the horizontal surface, what will happen? It will stop after traveling some distance. Why it is so? It is only because some external force is there. So what type of force is there? That force is known as frictional force, or if it is moving through air, that in that case air resistance will be there. So these are the two factors that if no frictional force is there, no air resistance is there, in that case body will continue to move along that particular path. But in daily life it is not possible because friction is always there. Because without friction our life is not possible. So friction will definitely there. If friction is there, so body has to become to in the state of rest. So what the Newton says that? Newton say that the bodies continue to move in the state of rest or continue in the uniform motion unless it is compelled by some external force to change that particular state. Which type of state? That is state of rest or state of uniform motion. So this is the Newton's first law of motion, and this is the definition of Newton's first law of motion. I already explained that how this definition can be widely acceptable by us. So I hope that you enjoyed today's lectures, and student, I want to share with you that be safe inside the home. Why? Because we know that peak is coming of COVID-19 coronavirus. So that is why be safe at home with your family, and if we safe, then family will be safe, then our society will be safe. So in the next lecture we will discuss about the Newton's second law of motion, and I hope that you enjoyed the today's lectures. So with this hope that we will definitely meet with a new topic with new energy. Till then, goodbye.